Hello friends, welcome to this journey of epoxy table making. So for those all who are not familiar with epoxy furniture business, let me give you a little brief about it. Epoxy table making business started in the United States around the 90s, and today it's taking the world by storm. Stats on Google show that it's a $8 billion industry as of now, and this is increasing at an unbelievable pace. Making epoxy furniture is a highly skilled craft, and getting material is a challenge. So, here in India, there are only a handful of people who actually make it. We at Ether Artistry have dedicated and invested 5 years in understanding and perfecting this concept. We have studied the ground reality of sourcing the raw material, which is epoxy and the related products, and how to build this product at a very minimal price so that it caters the Indian market with international quality, because as you know, in India price is the king, and still make a lot of profit out of it. India is the biggest market in the world, and furniture business, especially epoxy furniture business, is growing at a record time. We know this because we are also in the business of training individuals about this craft, and the number keeps on increasing week by week, and that too all around India and also internationally. So now is a perfect time to be the part of this business altogether. Epoxy business now, as you know, is a unique concept which is taking the world by fire. So now is the right time to capture the 1.2 billion Indian market and fill in the space which is empty and capitalize the billions on the $1 billion opportunity. So welcome guys. Now we'll show you how we build this table. This is in the shape of flower, so we named it as flower table. Sit back and relax and watch the whole tutorial.
Okay, so let's start on with our first step of this beautiful table. So here what you have to do whenever you are doing such kind of a table, you have to select a log, and you have to cut the log precisely the way we are cutting here. As you can see, we are cutting this in a slice mode, like we are slicing the log, and the slices which we were doing is 1.15 inches, so a little more than 1 inch. So you have to be very precise. If it is 1 inch, then you have to go for 1 inch. If it is 1.5, then you have to cut every slice of it the same way. So this is how the sawmill guys work, and you have to pay them to cut it in that precise shapes. So here is the time when we had come up with the thought of making this into a flower shape, because after cutting we saw this thing. So this is how we got the idea to make it into a flower shaped table. So this is where we got the idea. Before, it was not planned by us. but now since you guys will be planning, then you can plan in with that kind of a log. So now this is the second step of it. So in this step we are using an angle grinder. The tool which we are using is called a angle grinder. It has to be changed, the pads needs to be changed whenever needed, when it's the pads gets worn out. So this is how you have to do the grinding process. If you need to know more about it, then you can please inquire with us. You can just call us and you can ask. So this is a process we do to remove all the factory marks, the factory blade marks which comes during the cutting from the sawmill, because the sawmill blades are very bigger blades and it leaves a lot of marks on them. So now as you can see, all the blade marks are gone by the use of this angle grinder. So yes guys, as you can see this. So this is the second step which you have to follow. Third step which you have to do is a wood preparation, and before that you have to plan the placement, how your table will be placed. So we had placed it on the floor just to get a rough idea how our table will be looking. So now this is a butane torch. We are just using this to kill all the moisture, also if there are some termites or some other worms inside the wood, and also to give it a darker shade. Why a darker shade is a little huge topic which I might cover in the other detailed courses. So this is what you have to do. You also have to burn it, because the burning black marks, they give you a better outlook at the colors afterwards. So you will see it later on. So this is how it was placed on a plastic sheet. So this is usually what people don't do, and it is also not recommended. If you are doing, I will recommend it to do it on a table, on a plastic table or a MDF table with sealed tapes. Your table has to be sealed with tapes. Brown color tapes or transparent tapes also will do. So you have to cover the whole thing with some plastic, because as you know, resin doesn't stick to plastic. Rest anything, if there's any other surface, it will stick to it and you will have a hard time to bring it out of it. So this is our recommendation, that you use some kind of a plastic even when you do the side molds. So here we are doing a side molds using paper sheets or paper covers which were taped by a brown tape. So this is how we are doing it, and while doing it you will also notice that we are using a silicone gun. A silicone gun is only recommended to do this job. So this is our student where we were explaining him how to do, and yes, so this is how our work was going on. So this was a project which we had never seen on any internet or anywhere. So we were just trying to do it in a very easier way without any formal ways of making it. So my recommendation for you is you do it on a table in a very formal way. And this was in a very casual way that we were doing it. So just to show you guys that it can be easily done. So yes, now step 4 is where we are mixing the resin and the hardener. If you want to know more details about how to mixing it, there are ratios: 2:1 ratio, 3:1, 4:1. Your resin and hardener comes with such kind of ratios. Even if you see here, we are mixing a pigment, yellow pigment. It has silverish color in it, silverish and yellow. So this is mostly used to make those swirls and all. If you are familiar with resin, you will know what is swirls, how artists do that. So see if you see it in detail, then you will notice some silver lines or silverish thing inside it. So this is the output of a pigment. This is how pigments work. So in this table we have used a yellow pigment and a blue pigment. So now we are doing our first pour. So this is how you have to start with the first pour. And step by step you have to fill the entire thing with resin so that your base becomes stronger. Also you have to pour it on the wood so that your wood becomes stronger too. All the small holes which are there on the wood has to be filled so that in the end it doesn't come out with any bubbles. So that is the main thing why we are covering the entire thing with resin. This is our first pour. Just keep this in mind that you have to do first pour and wait for the time required to cure. Your resin needs to be cured. All the excess after it has been poured on the woods, your excess resin has to be brought down. So this is how we were cleaning our resin. We were bringing it down, we were clearing it from the woods, and we were making sure that there is no excess resin left on the wood. So yes, this was our first pour. Now we will be also showing you the other steps, what we had done on it. So you have to take your time while doing this, and don't be in a hurry. Take your time and do it. So after the first pour was done, we added some fillers to it. So what is this fillers and why are we using this is something we teach in the expert level courses, because for a beginning stages you might not understand what this thing is. This is something which if you use it, you will save a lot of resin, and it also helps to give some effects. So as you can see, we are adding all that to it along with the help of our student too. This is how it was looking after adding a lot of fillers and a lot of other things like decorative stones inside it. So this is something we came up in the between. This was not planned, and we came out with it that we will do something like this. And here the final pour, yellow and blue. So this is how, when you are doing, even the fillers and even the stones are not required. It is not a mandatory process, but filling it with resin is a mandatory process. You have to fill your entire table with resin. So we were giving the shades to it, shades of blue and shades of yellow to it. So we had, so as you know, yellow and blue, if it is mixed, it gives a green color, greenish color. So we didn't mix it by our hands, but we had let it mix it by itself, just to give it a style. So this is how resin has to be used. So this is the use of resin. It self mixes, and if it beautifies itself by its own. So this was our final pour which we had done, and we had kept it to let cure. It usually uses 24 hours to the curing process. So depending on what kind of resin you have bought, it will take 12 hours or 24 hours, or also 5 hours sometimes. So this is after 12 hours. We are doing the process called as demolding, where we are kind of opening the whole thing now, because we know now it is strong enough. There is no liquid left. Everything is solid now. It has all solidified. So this is how it has to be. And you have to demold it, keeping in mind you have to not tear your plastic or your covers, because that can be reused for the later projects. So this is what we had done. We have also documented how we have done the demolding of it, so that you guys get an idea, you guys know how it is and how it has to be done. So this is how it is. So now what we are using is a chisel. This tool is called a chisel, and it is very useful. You have to buy it if you are working on a resin table. So this is how it has come up. It has a lot of the plastic marks on it, and the cover marks are on it. So that is also one thing you have to cover up later on. This is the down part of the table. Now this is the top part of the table. Look how beautiful it has come. And the later projects, we will be showing you what needs to be done next. Just look at it, how beautiful it has come out, and look the color, mixing of the colors, that's brilliant. So leveling and grinding is the 6th step, which everybody has to do on every resin table, or epoxy resin table you may call it. You have to do a grinding work in order to level it down. So this is how we started, And we are quickly showing you this because it has taken us more than half an hour, so we cannot show you the entire thing, so you will have to assume how things work, and you have to get a little hand on it to get to its rhythm, or you can take the help of your carpenter. This work of leveling can be also done in a machine called as CNC machines, or using a router. Now this is the grinding process which we have shown you in this video. Maybe in the future further videos we might show you how we are doing the CNC thing as well. So stay connected to us on our next journey as well. And this is a part where we are doing the edges. We are removing all the sharp edges here, so that there is no sharpness on our table left. Just for a safety purpose, your tables should never be sharp and never have sharp edges, because it might hurt someone. So this is a orbital sander, another useful tool which any resin artist or any resin table artist has to carry. This is a very important machine, and we suggest you this thing. Be it of any company, the better the company is better the product. So buy a better quality and a good company product is what we recommend. So we are just sanding our edges here, the sides you can see. So this 8th step now is everything is done, everything is leveled. Now the 8th step is we are coating our table. This is like the final, almost the final step of it. Now there are some holes after grinding. There are some holes left because it is wood after all, and wood drinks a lot of resin as well. And if there are some errors here and there, then you will be facing such problems. So these holes which were there to the wood, because you have seen how this wood was. This wood was not a perfect wood. It had many flaws to it. So now we are facing some hole problems here which we are filling first. So this is how you have to do. You have to take it, use your toothpick and just fill the holes first, and after that you have to pour the resin on the entire top of the table, so that you get a gloss finish. So we are on the verge of making this table into a glossy finish. Now as you can see, it is matte, and you can also see the wood here. But just after some time, when we start applying the coating layer, then you will notice a huge change in this table. We are yet on the process of filling the holes. So this is a very important step which everyone has to do. The table here we are showing you will be done into a glossy finish table. For a matte finish table, the procedure is little different. You have to sand the entire table. You have to do sanding on it if you want the table to be in a matte position, in a matte finish, you might say. So this table which we are showing you in this tutorial is a glossy finish table. Have a look now. This is the coating resin which we are applying now. As you can see, will also notice how the table will change its colors and how beautiful it will turn out. This is the most exciting part of the entire journey, which every one of you will enjoy. If everything goes well, this is the most enjoyable part of resin table making. So yes, please watch us in detail, because we are teaching you something which you will have to do it. So this is how you have to spread the entire resin to the top of the table. Your table can be of any shape doesn't matter, but you have to fill the entire table with this coating resin. Always remember the term coating resin when you are doing the end part. In the beginning part, the resin which is used is called casting resin. So please don't get confused by it. Casting resin is used to fill the body of the table. Be it this one or be it any other table, the body has to be done with the casting resin. And coating resin is the only resin which you have to use on the last stage of the table, and it is mostly used to make your table glossy. So this is how it is. If you want more details on casting resin, coating resin, then you might have to join our expert level courses or our master class, where we have in detail described what is casting, coating, everything we have described in the higher level courses. So this is a tutorial for you, just for your knowledge, so that you know at least there is a different kind of resin which is used, so that you don't make a mistake while you are doing your table or you are buying your resin. So that is what we want to guide you on. So as you can see how beautiful it has come out. Every part of the wood can be noticed now, and the wood has turned out to be like in an amazing shape. It looks like an embryo, it looks like a flower, it depends on the watcher's eyes, however you can see it. So there are different opinions which we also had received. So now, after firing it up, the result you have to see and get amazed by it. So this is what the result will be if you follow these steps. You can also watch this process again. So yes, and this is how the table has come out. You can see it in a very high glossy table. It has turned out to be very glossy, highly glossy table. So yes, to be the part of the next $1 million industry, all you have to do is join our courses, and we will see you in our expert master classes. We'll be waiting for you. See you right there.